Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary?
Chris, the Herons are back. And we got Messi.
What's going on? What? Where is the information? I guess we're getting ready for a sister kissing fiesta.
I felt like we were playing a 2-8. It was just a 2-8.
Let me tell you, Danny is about to get destroyed in the chat. So
Are we kissing sisters, Chris?
And maybe stepsisters, but not regular sisters. I've done a little bit of research on him. When it comes to FIFA, this guy's 68.
We're going to have the greatest player of all time on the team. If there's a time to believe, it's now.
It looks like a heron shat all over it. So you guys are literally getting excited for a rank 65 player on FIFA 23. We got some pretty good FIFA cards on our squad now. All right?
You gotta understand, Kevin. This is how we scout our players here on the show.
Just look at FIFA cards.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 134 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
You got another game tomorrow.
That's it. They're
another
coming
game,
fast.
and
They're
it's
coming
beautiful.
fast. I know it's fun.
Beautiful.
It's fun. So let's say what's up to real quick. Mitch. Mike's already saying, bruh. He's already got a problem. What's going on, Mike? Mr. Krabs is talking about the League's Cup. We're going to get into that. We got J Rocks is over there in Vegas rolling dice. I love that. We got Kasechi. We got Ecam. What's going on, everybody? All pushers and pullers, welcome here on the show. All right.
Look at that. I didn't know it was such a big deal, me not wearing my hat, I guess. You know, I can't.
It actually is kind of weird to see you without a hat. I come on here without a hat sometimes, but you never come on here without a hat.
Yeah, I typically don't. I left all my hats upstairs, so. And I just got a haircut, so I'm showing off my expensive haircut.
Nah, haircuts are pretty expensive nowadays. All right, so I thought that today was going to be a really, straight to the point, just preview the Al-Nassr, possibly talk some Ronaldo and Messi, and we're going to get into all that nonsense in a little bit. And, man, today ended up being a big-time Inter Miami news day. What's going on, Wisemen? We're going to have one of the guys from the Wisemen, Ty, joining us to help preview Columbus later this episode, like we've been doing recently.
And shout out to Joe Kerr.
Full of news.
Live from Saudi Arabia.
Joe Kerr, one of my favorites. So a lot of stuff to get into. And I guess this is the best way to start it.
Yeah.
McVay on his way to DC, not official yet, but they're saying it's just about official. Stefanelli officially gone. He got the thank you from the official Inter Miami social media page. How are you feeling about McVay's departure and Stefanelli officially being gone? Because once Farias went down, everybody's like, oh, wait, maybe Stefanelli isn't going to go anywhere. But his ass is out the door. How are we feeling about McVay and Stefanelli heading out?
It's funny because I really am hurt more by the Stefanelli move than I am for the McVay move, but it's even worse because it's like we need defenders, right? But you know what makes a good defense? Better offense.
No, so I don't want to think
I guess that. I mean that's just the way that it seems like it's going because we're just getting nothing but people that don't play defense. So
check your mic. All right,
yeah, I'll check that.
I told you that I thought that McVay was the most disappointing player last year because I really was expecting really good things from him last year. And I thought that, unfortunately, it didn't work out. A lot of people were blaming Tata, but people forget that he got benched for Kamal Miller while Phil Neville was still here. And that had nothing to do with Tata. So McVay lost his spot by then. I understand the depth at center back is necessary, right? So it's kind of weird to see us losing a center back before we gain some more. But I really didn't see McVay seeing the pitch all that much anyway. Obviously, Tata wasn't very keen on using him as it is. So I don't think that's a huge loss. Stefanelli, I mean, it opens up another international spot. So let's see what we do with that. We'll get into some transfer rumors later. But yeah, I think those were, as far as player acquisition and departures, that was probably the biggest news of the day.
Well, I think it's can you hear me a little better now, or is it still
Yeah.
kind of weird?
Yeah, no, we're good.
I think the worst part is losing McVay is not just losing a defender, but it's losing a defender that a lot of the fans are familiar with. So I think that might be the more hurtful one in terms of like, we need defense and we need defenders that play decently. So I mean, he is a good backup. He is a serviceable backup, and we're losing that. And someone that's familiar with the team. I mean, Stefanelli, everybody said he was a poor man's Farias anyway, you know. So and we have Robert Taylor that can play like every single position on the field. So
But still doesn't manage to see the pitch. And Judas, for as far as Christian Medina goes from Boca, I think that Inter Miami might be out on him. But just to answer your question, my understanding is that he's not slow. He's not necessarily the fastest thing in the world either. He's not slow, and defensively isn't what he's really known for. I'm not sure how good he is defensively, but that isn't necessarily what he is. He would be coming in here. He wouldn't be coming in here to play that 6 role, in other words. What's going on, Broad Heron? All right, so McVay is gone. There has to be another center back move coming eventually, right? Like this can't stay this way.
it's just a shame to see. It's a shame to see all of this happening. I mean, we lose Miller, right? I mean, like, damn, man, it really sucks to have lost a pretty good defender. Like, we're
Miller?
stuck with what? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but we look when we had Tom Bogarts told us that this was almost like Inter Miami was forced into making that move. They didn't want to trade Kamal Miller. I mean, I also think it's kind of weird that they couldn't have found another trade partner, right? That they all of a sudden got their arms twisted because they had to trade it to Portland. Like that doesn't make much sense to me. But go ahead.
How do you feel about this comment that Mike V just said that nobody said he's a poor man's Farias? That Stefanelli is over Farias. How do you feel about that?
I don't know who he's talking about as far as a poor man's Farias, though.
Well, because I mentioned it. I mentioned that there's a lot of people that are online that believe that Stefanelli is like a poor man's Farias, like he wasn't as good or as skilled. But I mean, look, I liked Stefanelli when he was on the pitch last year.
When was he on the pitch?
He was on the pitch before he got injured. Remember, he suffered an injury last year, and then he just
I know. Exactly. I don't. If you were to ask me anything significant that he did on this team, I couldn't tell you.
Remember, we lost him around the same time that we lost Gregory and Mota.
Yeah, towards the beginning of the season. Yeah, he didn't have a big impact on this team.
No, I mean, it's not like this guy was like the MVP of the team, but like you're talking about someone that can have impact in the middle of the field in an attacking sort of way. I mean, for sure, Farias and Stefanelli are a poor man's Messi, like uber poor, pulling cart from the front poor.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. All right. Yeah. Well, McVay is gone. I would hope that we have another center back coming in at some point, because if we're going to continue playing this 3-man back line, then we're either counting on Ian Frey coming back healthy at some point. We're counting on Freyer at some point being serviceable. And we're going to count on our young kids from the academy, Hall, coming up and balling, or Ryan Saylor. Look, Ryan Saylor to me is like a McVay, but I've seen less of Ryan Saylor than I have of McVay. So maybe Ryan Saylor will surprise me. I had no hope for McVay. Ryan Saylor, maybe he'll surprise me. So I haven't lost all hope in Ryan Saylor, but McVay, I didn't believe in.
I really hope that Ian Frey comes back, because I would love to see Ian Frey and Aviles. Ian Frey and Aviles back there together, like they are just two gazelles playing defense. Oh my goodness, that would be amazing.
Tank said that McVay was his dude, but I don't understand why. Why was McVay your dude?
Yeah, I mean,
he had a decent season, at left back 2 seasons ago, and then he had like 2 or 3 spot starts at center back. He looked good in those 2 or 3 starts, and I was like, oh shit, okay, maybe we have a center back here. And then they put him at center back last year. It didn't work out, and he quickly lost his job. So I don't see why he would be anybody's dude. But anyway, all right. So they're gone. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, Hendo gets cooking in there. All right. So other news from today.
Miami starts cooking with some seats.
Yeah. I didn't know that this was happening. That stadium's going to look completely different when we go back. And by the way, it's exactly 3 weeks from today.
Yes.
3 weeks from today, we have opening day. So, Chris, what do you know about the new stadium capacity?
So apparently, I mean, there was 20,000. Oh, it was 20 plus thousand seats before the change, and apparently now the capacity is going to be 21,550. So they're bringing in like a brand new section into, I believe it's the southwest corner. So that's over by where I guess where the players entered. No, we sit in the south, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we sit in the south.
By where the buses were? By where the buses
Correct.
entered, you mean?
Correct. So where the buses entered, they're going to be putting like a whole new section in there. And then they're increasing the capacity in the northeast and the southeast section. So the only area that's not going to be taken up is going to be I guess the area where the players are parking over by the black lot. I mean, if you guys want your season tickets for those seats, you could start getting them right now. I don't know if it's worth it.
Supposedly they're gonna have like theater suites now and some weird stuff. Like, I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm sure I can't afford it. So whatever.
Well, the question I ask myself is if they're gonna be taking up that bus section where they pull the buses up, then I mean, how are the players gonna be getting in, right? Like, bring that map up real quick again. And if you noticed on the map, like before, they used to walk in from the training facility. Now they get brought over by a 0.1 mile drive from the training facility to that bus area. But I imagine if they're doing this, then that means that they're going to build like some sort of entrance from the player facility.
They could still come in that way. They're just going to have to seal that off.
Oh, and absolutely.
Also, that's VIP. Whoever sits there, I mean, I don't know, but whoever sits there might be like a celebrity or something. And that, I don't know how expensive those things, but maybe those seats are they can't be all suites there, because if they're all suites, then how are you going to be 12? Those, what is it? What you said? Was it 1,500 seats? Whatever it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to. We'll have to revisit this when we have a little more info, because I don't want to just randomly gas bag and misinform people.
An additional 1,200 seats.
Okay, so 1,200 seats. All right. Well, I mean, I guess 1,200 seats.
Wait, hold on.
In
so
that corner.
It actually says the brand new all-inclusive premium seating will see 9 theater boxes and 6 opera boxes.
What the hell is that?
It says it's going to have elevated seating options ranging from living room style chairs to ultra padded suite seating, which is wild to me. Like, what are we doing? We're leaving.
So is it gonna look like is it gonna look like where Abraham Lincoln got murked? Like one of those
probably,
type opera things?
Yeah, you're gonna get presidentially assassinated sitting there, and you're gonna be able to have premium parking, access to midfield club. Like, but this is so stupid. We're leaving like in 2 years. What the hell are we doing? Like, whoever moves into that stadium. Season. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what are we doing with that kind of seating? Like, save that money for the Miami Freedom Park. What a disaster.
Yes. He did say opera seats. I don't know if he's misreading that.
No. I'm a pretty good reader. It says opera seating. 6 opera boxes.
Mr. Krabs is doubting your reading skills, buddy.
Listen, I want to know what an opera box is. Opera box?
I'm curious.
What is an... Oh, my goodness. I'm just
whatever
looking
it is,
at
I bet you we can't afford it.
It's literally like it's literally an Abraham Lincoln chair. What everybody remembers the story of Abraham Lincoln chair, that's where you're going to be able to sit for like $1 billion.
But where would they put that?
They're going to put it in the southwest corner, and you can be able to get...
I'm intrigued. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued.
James is asking if Lego makes premium seats. I mean, I guess so. Lego, the company Lego can make anything. They're making for sure.
For those that don't get that inside joke, Chris used to call those the new temporary stands that they put in after Messi arrived, the Lego stands.
People are literally asking, am I sure if it's opera seat?
I don't think, look, I don't think people trust you, Chris. I honestly, I let Chris find all the information on this. I don't believe him fully either, but this is all Chris. So
listen,
like
I am I am literally grabbing, and I will put it in the chat right now. I am putting in the link in case any of you want to know. It's on the Inter Miami website. I'm literally grabbing it from this source. So yes, Opera seating. Guys.
Look, maybe opera seats are where the press sits. I mean, maybe.
I doubt it. You kidding me?
I
They
don't
might
know.
throw those guys in a fucking. They might throw the press people like in a garbage can somewhere in a corner, or probably give them the real Lego seating.
Yeah. Don Cafecito backing you up. You know what? I trust Don Cafecito. I don't trust Chris. But if Don Cafecito says it, I believe it. All right. Look, everybody that's wondering and questioning Chris, Don Cafecito Steve Munoz has now confirmed, so we can now confirm that yes, it is accurate what Chris is saying.
Yeah, but apparently I'm bad media because GFR's out here thinking that I'm just like spamming everybody with crap. Guys, if I'm going to give you the info, I'm going to give you the right info, whether you want it or not. Opera seating, Abraham Lincoln, let's go.
All right. Well, let's keep going with some bad info for the people because this is what they tune in for.
Oh my God. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me, Tommy? That's the first contribution you have to the chat. You're going to come in and you're going to ask me to go put a hat on? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for those of you in audio, be glad you're on audio. All right, so we are now going to get into Leagues Cup. Leagues Cup was announced today. All the participants, obviously, we know all the MLS and Liga MX clubs, but they announced the groups, right? 3 teams per group. There's 2 teams that get a bye straight to the 32, the winner of the MLS Cup and the winner of Liga MX. I was wondering why we wouldn't as a defending champion. But what I'm assuming is that next year when San Diego becomes a team and the MLS gets to 30 teams, that would make it 48 teams. So in order to get down to 45 teams with making it groups of 3, I guess maybe they would give the winner of the Leagues Cup this year maybe a bye next year, or they would just make just an extra group of 3 and give no byes, one or the other. But anyway, so all those were announced, and we found out that Miami will be in the same group as 2 Mexican teams. Last year, we were with Atlanta and Cruz Azul. This year, we are with Tigres and who else was it? Tigres and
it's Tigres and Puebla.
There we go, Club Puebla. So that Puebla would be our opening group. Now, I saw a lot of people get, I guess, I don't want to say excited, but they thought that it was really cool that we would get 2 home games like we did last year. Now, I'm here to burst everybody's bubble. That's not the way it works this year. We are not traveling to Mexico, so no, that's not the case. But we are not hosting both those games. The top teams in Mexico are not going to play a road game. They are going to play a technically home game in a stadium later to be announced. So it's possible that Tigres, which that game will not be a home game for us, would go ahead and they would play in, I mean, if I don't know if it's going to be an option, but if I was them, I'd choose somewhere in Texas, right? I'd play in Texas. I'm sure they got plenty of Tigres fans down there. And if they want to keep it regional here in the Southeast, then maybe they play in Orlando, maybe they play in Atlanta. I don't know how that's going to work exactly. But we are not going to get, Sean said hub cities. We are not going to get 2 home games out of that, though. So for those of you hoping to see Tigres against Inter Miami here, my understanding is that that is not the way it's going to work. But we will be hosting Puebla or Pueblo or whatever. So we're going to get 1 home game.
Well, the good thing is if we host Puebla, I mean, they're literally the worst team right now. They haven't won a game in 4 games. Tigres, they're at the top of their division. They're 3rd, and they actually have a couple wins. They have 8 wins. They've done pretty well.
Well, Tigres is always is one of the best teams in that league, always historically, and they have a huge fan base. So it would be interesting to see them play down here and to see their fans travel down here. But we're not going to get that. Now, where the game's going to be, it says later to be announced. I'm not sure where it would be. It's interesting. But yeah, that's the news as far as that goes.
And Sean is saying that he would want to play somewhere in the Northeast, close to New York or Chicago. I don't think it'd be great for the Mexican teams to play in the Northeast. I think if anything, you want to keep it like south of the middle of the country to be able to
I don't know in the Northeast. And again, I don't know if that's an option, right? So as of right now, all I'm telling you is that that's not going to be a home game for us. Outside of that, anything we say is just we're just talking crap. Okay.
Yeah.
In the Northeast, it's a large Mexican population. So if the Northeast is an option up in New York or something, they'll get a nice turnout for Tigres up there.
Listen, you'll get the same turnout down here in Homestead, Poppy.
Chicago also. Yeah, but then that's technically a home game for us.
Yeah.
So
I just left that there.
So
I think Texas would be a better option. I think Texas would be a good option. I think Texas. I think maybe New Mexico. I think one of those two could be a pretty good option.
But those teams are considered Western Conference teams. The ones in Texas, right, and the MLS, and I believe they're separated between East and West. So I don't think that would be an option.
I mean, you're not going to put in Alabama, like.
No, it would be an MLS. It would be I would assume an MLS stadium.
Yeah, it would be.
Or at least an MLS city.
And listen, James Sylvia is mentioning Homestead Speedway. Let's do it, baby. Come on. I go walk over there.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I got that out there because I saw some people saying like, okay, cool, 2 Mexican teams, so we get to host 2 games. That is not the case. I forgot if it was because they split into 3 tiers. And depending on how many points they ended up the season with last year. And the top 15 teams were in tier 1. And I do not remember if it was just the top 4 Mexican teams or all the Mexican teams in tier 1. But those teams are the Mexican teams that will get to technically host a home game somewhere in the United States that is not at the home of the opposing team.
I have a question. Do you think that these teams in Liga MX, do you think that they would rather prefer to do that instead of like playing in other states that aren't, the opposing team?
Of course. Why would they want to play?
Or would they rather just play in Mexico? Like, how much of a logistical nightmare would it be to play in Mexico? Really?
Oh, it's a lot more travel, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But remember, we asked Tom Bogarts when he was on here about Leagues Cup and if it would ever change. And he said that the people from Liga MX literally wanted it to be played in the United States because there's such a large fan base for that league. It's almost letting those fans here in the United States get to enjoy their Mexican clubs at home because let's be real, Mexicans, that's a large population here in the United States.
Yeah.
And so literally the people from Liga MX setting this up wants this tournament to be played in the United States. So at this point, like you really can't crap on it, and Liga MX can't talk crap about it either because it's something that apparently that they want.
Well, I mean, I just think that it's kind of dumb because if we're going right now, we're in Saudi Arabia, and then in a couple of days from now, we're going to be in China. Like we're going around the whole world. Like,
how come these games don't count?
Yeah. But that's even worse.
That's why. No, if these games counted, you know how I said I don't give a crap about this world tour. Like it doesn't bother me at all because the games don't count. If the games counted, I'd be furious about this world tour. But the games don't count, so who cares?
Yeah, I mean it's a circus show at this point in time right now. But I mean, I would love to see MLS teams, even if they're on the East Coast, go out to Mexico. Right? Split the week, 1 game in Mexico, 1 game over on the East Coast. So that way there's even abuse in the travel, even though these guys are flying in. Yeah. I mean, even though these guys are flying in, not even first class, this is like God class. Come on.
I forgot what chat we're in a chat and I forgot what chat it was, but whatever. Oh, and speaking of which, we're going to start that Discord. We'll talk about it later. I was in a chat and we were talking about, and some people were like, "Oh, I hope that they prioritize Leagues Cup." I don't see why anybody would think that they wouldn't prioritize Leagues Cup. Yeah. By the time that Leagues Cup begins, Copa America is done. CONCACAF Champions Cup is done. That ends June 2nd. US Open Cup, you're either in the semifinals or the tournament's over for you. So that's about done. So at that point, why wouldn't you prioritize it. It's literally the last cup there is before the playoffs start later on that year. Like, Leagues Cup needs to be prioritized just off the fact that there's nothing else going on. Literally everything is done. By the time Leagues Cup starts, everything else is over. The only thing left is the semifinals of the Open Cup, if you made it that far, which would be the week after Leagues Cup ends, and then trying to make the playoffs, and then the playoffs started in November or late October. So, of course, I think Leagues Cup by default is going to be prioritized because there's nothing else going on.
And not only that, but you're also defending the same trophy that you earned. So, like, if there's anything else other than that, you also have to understand, like, you're defending the trophy that you won last year. So even though it's like an open tournament again, at the end of the day, you're still trying to defend that championship that you won. So, there's a couple reasons.
Tank said the team will need to rest by then. Why?
What?
I don't know. All they've been doing is playing regular season games once a week. Why do they need a rest? They just keep playing. I don't know.
So now we're gonna give these guys cushy vacations. We're gonna put them up in a hotel on a dime. Come on.
I don't know.
All-inclusive resorts. What are we doing? Go play soccer. Get out.
All right. So before we get into the Al-Nassr game, one last thing we want to get into. There's a rumor going around, and I'm not going to get too into it because it's just a rumor and one that has died down since it started yesterday. But Federico Redondo plays in Argentina. He is the son of Francisco Redondo. Played for Real Madrid, and he is what a lot of people are saying is an absolute baller. He is a CDM. A lot of people say that they remind him of a young Busquets, and I think that this would be really good. Now, young Busquets doesn't mean necessarily a killer defensively, but to me, from what I've seen, and I'm helping out Ty right now. For me, I would like him to be more defensive than offensive, but I was looking into him, and we'll get more into it tomorrow, just in case the rumors pick up again. But my understanding is that he is a good defender, and I think that this would be the perfect addition to this midfield.
But then, like, we still have Busquets. We have Mota somewhere in Brazil. And then we also have Gregory. We also have David Ruiz, which, I mean, at this point, we don't know if he's going to play CDM. Is he going to play winger? I mean, is he going to be a striker? Like, what are we doing here? Right? So we have a couple of CDMs on this team already. So is obtaining this guy really going to...
Who is a CDM on this team outside of Gregory?
John Mota. I mean, he was listed as a CDM at some point.
No. John Mota is not. No. John Mota
I'm not saying
is
that
not
they're
a
good
CDM.
at that job.
No, but we need somebody. Look, if we're gonna keep playing with a 3-man back line, we need a pivot that can actually defend. And so Gregory is that guy. Mota is not that guy. Ruiz, I think, can be that guy, but he's looked so saucy offensively that I don't think that he's going to become that guy. I would want Gregory back there, and if we can't get Gregory back there, get this kid Redondo. And if we can get Redondo and Gregory and play a double pivot, oh my God, that would be beautiful. But that's not probably happening. But yeah, no, Mota, never bring Mota's name up again as a CDM. It was so frustrating when Gregory went down that they tried to force him in there, and that's when our defense really went to crap because there was nobody back there because he can't hold his position because he just wants to take field goals.
Well, listen, but they were listed at some point as a CDM. So, like, I don't know what you want me to do with that.
Just because they list him that way doesn't mean that he is that.
And we just got asked the question, what position? I mean, what's the FIFA ranking? And I'm on it. I'm already on it.
Not. All right. Well, like I said, I didn't want to get too into it. I can get into his numbers in tomorrow's episode if at all this peaks again. But if it doesn't,
boom.
Here we go.
He's a center midfielder, 71. I mean, this guy's awful. Not even a rare.
That card came out when he was 20 years old. When he was
Guy
20
looks
years
like a
old.
baby.
And if he is anything, if he is a tenth of what his father was, he's going to be an absolute baller, because his dad was an absolute baller. He's considered one of the best CDMs in Real Madrid history, one of the best midfielders in Real Madrid history. So yeah. All right. So let's while I send the invite to Ty, let's get into tomorrow's game. So we're playing against Al-Nassr, our third game of this preseason World Tour, and tomorrow was the marquee. Tomorrow was the game that everybody wanted to watch. I think it was the reason why this whole thing started for the World Tour.
Yes.
And as it turns out, our boy Ronaldo.
Our boy Ronaldo is done for. Lesionado.
Right. So apparently he's injured. So he won't be playing. I told you last episode that I didn't think he would play. I don't. He doesn't really have too much to gain. And Ty, I got that invite out for you again. I'll see if that
And by the
works.
way, this is basically going to be a matchup between Messi and Sadio Mane.
I don't think he's going to play either.
Or Anderson Talisca.
So they are second in
your banners and your.
They are second in the table out in Saudi Arabia. They lost to Al Hilal 3-0 last month. Al Hilal had only allowed 9 goals up until their season ended or stopped halfway through the season. Al-Nassr has allowed 23 goals. So we're playing against a far inferior team without Ronaldo. I believe Sadio Mane might not play. So I think that we actually have a chance to win this, and hopefully we look good. Do you consider this MLS versus Saudi Arabia type deal? Because I never did. But as soon as Al Hilal went up 2-0, the tweet started. Oh, Saudi Arabia shitting on MLS. Oh, Inter Miami can't hang with the big boys across the world. I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't think it is, but a part of me wants to win just to shut everybody up.
But the thing is, Danny, I think that like you're really big time in the minority on that one. I feel like the masses was looking at this matchup of, not just Al-Nassr, but Al Hilal. Like, this is MLS versus the Saudi Arabian League. Like, I think you're extremely in the minority on that one.
Yeah, but it's preseason versus somebody that's been in season half the year. I don't know. One league has no salary cap. They have unlimited money. They're paying players literally $100 million a year. Benzema is getting paid $100 million a year. And we have a salary cap. Like, we literally are running out there with Robbie Robinson running left wing. Like, come on. Like, you can't compare the two. Like, this.
Yeah, there's no cap versus a super cap. And the no cap is like, let's just give some guy a bank and sign him. Just give him a free bank with free money. Come onto the team. Stay here for a year and a half. Hate your life. And then go elsewhere. Make us a couple bucks.
Do you think Nick Freyer plays tomorrow?
No. I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think he's going to play. I don't think it's going to be worth it. And yes, Gina is mentioning Al Hilal is the best team. Yeah. I mean, they almost kicked our asses.
Well, I don't think that. No, they didn't kick our ass. They beat us 4-3. I think that it would have been nicer if we would have ended up 3-3. What I do think, and I remember when I was saying that I didn't care about this preseason. When I said that I didn't care about this preseason, I said I don't think the players will play too much, right? So that was my whole thing. I don't think they're going to play too much. Not a big deal. They've been playing a lot. Messi played just about 90 minutes last game. I can't say I'm very happy with that. Like, I'm not sure why they have Messi running out there 90 minutes for a game that absolutely doesn't matter. Like, I know that they threw a cup on there, right? Like the Riot Season Cup, just randomly, just 3 games, 3 teams. But I don't see why they're doing that. That did make me unhappy. And I can't imagine that they're going to do that again just 3 days later. How long do you think Messi plays tomorrow?
Well, I mean, if it's going to be without Ronaldo, then I imagine he's only going to play the half. Because, I mean, at this point, might as well just dump it, right? I mean, we lost the first game. Whatever cup is available to us, like, who cares? If it's not the Ronaldo versus Messi matchup, I don't want it. Give me 40, 45 minutes. Get off the pitch. Let's go. Let's keep traveling with you intact, Messi. Let's do that.
How long do you think? So you think 45 minutes? I think hope
45 minutes is the max.
I hope he comes in as a sub and plays 30. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I've been hoping for this whole preseason. Yeah, I've been hoping for this the whole preseason. I didn't want to see him start. I didn't want to see him play. What is it? 45 against El Salvador, 60 against Dallas, against Al Hilal, like 87, I think it was 88. Yeah. So what are we doing here? And now he has 2 days rest. Like, don't tell me you're gonna run him out there with 2 days rest to run another 60, 80, 90 minutes. Like, it's not worth it. These games don't mean anything. Like, again, I was cool with this whole world tour if they weren't going to play him this much. And I don't think from even the people that were criticizing the World Cup, I mean, the world tour, were not thinking that they were going to play this much. So I'm really hoping that he plays 30 minutes, like Gina said. I don't want to see more than that. It's pointless.
Oh, well, I mean, do you think he's asking for these minutes?
I hope not. I mean, I know he didn't like the long layoff, but I hope that he's not asking to play this much. Yeah, plenty of games coming in about 3 weeks, buddy.
And I wanted to mention just Lucas's comment here. He's saying Freire is injured, just travel with the squad as a knee injury. Look at that. Coco Jean gets injured, getting off planes. Freire gets injured, getting on planes. What's going on, guys?
Freire. Mike V says you pronounce it Freire.
Freire.
All right. All right, so I mean, I don't feel like there's too much to talk about in this game. So just real quick, do you think we're going to start with that back line again? That 3-man back line?
I think nothing is going to change in this game.
Okay.
I think against the Saudi Arabian teams, we're just going to be playing the same thing, same style. And I hope that Messi only plays the half.
There has to be some type of rotation because these guys have been playing a lot. And then literally it was 2 days later for the next game. There has to be heavy rotation tomorrow. I think Luis Suarez doesn't play as much. He might not even start. I think Campana might start. I would like to see Gregory start over Gressel or over David Ruiz. Even though David Ruiz, I want to see him keep playing because he's playing well. But I want to see Gregory out there. Robert Taylor's going to get more playing time. Now that McVay's gone, or supposedly going to be gone, Freire supposedly is injured. Are we going to see Noah Allen at left center back again?
Or Sailor?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not a fan, but yeah, I guess maybe we could try that out. I just want to I hope that we see like random 4 in the back, like a 4-3-3. Just randomly surprise us. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
All right.
And
so
I think he's saying it. I think he's, and Mike V is mentioning it again, and I think he's saying it Freire. Whatever. Who cares? You know who we're talking about.
And Thuck Fung said, Danny, would you be okay with Tata using this as the official lineup for the season? No. I really don't like the 3 in the back. I don't like the 3 in the back. I especially don't like the 3 in the back when you don't have a CDM. And I know technically Busquets is playing that role, but he's not that guy. And you need help defensively. And when you have a bad defense, playing less defenders back there, I don't think helps. That's just me being a weirdo, I guess. All right. And then last thing before we get into the Columbus Crew, predictions for tomorrow. I know you thought that we are going to get smacked up by Al-Hilal. We didn't. What do you think about tomorrow?
I think it's going to be like 3-2. I think we're going to score some goals. I think we're going to win. I mean, this team doesn't score as many goals as Al-Hilal, so I think it's going to be an entertaining game. Yeah, I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think it's going to be 3-2 that we finally win a preseason game. I don't even know how much that matters anymore at this point, but
it doesn't matter. But it'd be nice to shut everybody up because, you know, if they lose, then people are going to be like, Saudi Arabia beat them again, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody's saying 2-2 draw. Everybody's saying 2-2 draw. How weird.
Yeah, I can see a draw. Look, yeah, like Richard Bieber hit in the head. This is a win for me. No injuries, and it's a win for me. So
get on the plane without getting injured.
and Gressel will probably start again, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, I guess. All right,
Yeah.
so we went 40 minutes talking about all the news of the day and covering tomorrow's game. We didn't get too in depth because it's preseason. Ronaldo's not playing.
Yeah.
It kind of killed the emotion, right? I was excited for that game. Chris even said that he was considering letting his kid get out of school early so he could watch it with Ronaldo, but it just completely killed everything once Messi and Ronaldo isn't happening anymore. So as we said, from now until the beginning of the season, we'll be previewing every Eastern Conference team just to get a feel for the competition that we'll be beating up along the way to the top. And we had Cincinnati on just 2 days ago with Justin Blair, Mr. Weirdo that drinks his milk after he eats the cereal. And now we felt like since we had Cincinnati on, let's have the full Ohio thing going on. So we are bringing on from the defending champion, Columbus Crew, the Wisemen Podcast, and I guess I'll let him plug it himself, Mr. Tyler. I don't know, is it Tyler or Ty?
It's Tyler.
Okay, Tyler
or Ty, doesn't matter.
All right, it all works, and he's wearing a sexy hat.
Look at them.
How's the hat look? Does it look nice?
Yeah, that does look nice. Enjoy. You're not getting one this year. All right, so thank you as always for joining us, Ty.
Definitely.
You obviously had got the star on top of the badge. You guys had the best year, much better than Cincinnati, because all Cincinnati did was win the supporter shield. Yeah, choke job basically. Hell is real. So yeah, man. Well, thank you for joining us. And how do you feel about the whole offseason so far?
It's funny. I was just on the Designated Pundits podcast a couple of days ago, and also. It's been kind of quiet. We've got some good pieces in Marina Heinestrosa. We have Derek Jones coming in. We are looking to add depth pieces just because of how compact our schedule is going to be. Obviously, same thing with you guys. But it's been really good. We had our top three guys go to the national team, and they've come back. High energy down there in Port St. Lucie. It's been a definite ride. Short, but I think we are looking to, as Aiden Morris put, run it back.
Aiden Morris.
Yeah, Mike V is asking, how does it feel to be number one in the MLS, but number two in Ohio? You're not number two.
I mean, nobody remembers second place, and I think that's what Cincinnati got after choking away a 2-0 lead. But I mean, that's just
if you're not first, you're last.
Yes, correct.
Right. So going into the season, what is the storyline going into the season for Columbus? Repeat, I guess.
I mean, you can say that. I also think the biggest storyline is how is Nancy going to adjust everything that all the teams are looking at now for us. Everybody's gunning for our numbers. They know how we play. They know exactly what we're going to do. I think now is how can Nancy tweak it, right? Another storyline is the schedule, obviously, but I think the biggest one is the Nancy one. Is he going to have a sophomore slump? We don't know. But how is he going to manage this team with everybody looking at us, knowing what we're going to do, knowing how he plays? How is he going to compact that?
I mean, your defense wasn't great last year. That's what gives us hope this year.
Right? Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But
their offense was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, obviously, we're an Inter Miami podcast, right? So for the Inter Miami listeners, Julian Gressel was just on your team for the latter part of last season.
You've got MLS Cup champion Julian Gressel.
Yes, because he did win it with Atlanta with Tata Martino. So yes, I stand corrected. He did win it with Tata back in Atlanta. So you are 100% correct. So if you could just tell us, if you could just go ahead and give us a little breakdown of Julian Gressel and why he was benched in the playoffs, because that's what scared me.
I think the biggest is he doesn't have what Mo Farsi has, right? So you look at Orlando, then you look at Cincinnati. Julian Gressel is more of an attacking wing back or whatever position he plays down there with you guys. For us, he was
And
a
defend.
wing back. Okay, yeah.
We don't even know yet.
But Mo Farsi has the ability to attack and defend. He has this little spark in him that can get up the field and get back in time, right? So I think that's one thing that fits the profile that Nancy was looking at against, especially Cincinnati, right? Because you have Barreal on the wing. You also have can't remember who the other winger that they had was, but Farsi just was able to compete with those wingers, and Gressel just couldn't keep up, right? Which is why he came off the bench. But Farsi, on the other hand, is able to compete and able to defend.
I
So
noticed
on a
that
team with a
later.
bad defense, he's not going to help us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Tata Martino were to utilize him, I think he'll probably utilize him off the bench. I don't see him getting a lot of starts for you guys this year.
And that's awful because I noticed that towards the latter time with you guys that he was coming off the bench, he was playing less time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of awful in terms of like the what we're going to be receiving, from him in our future.
Did he get any playing time in the midfield?
No. Mm-mm. But
Ooh, oh my God.
But another thing is that when he posted his goodbye message, he said it wasn't easy. We all knew that Columbus was not going to be his ending destination, right? He was in Vancouver. He wanted to come back east. Columbus was not going to be his final destination, his landing spot, right? It was going to be somewhere where his wife is from, I believe Boston, right? So you're thinking New England or somewhere more East Coast, like Miami or Charlotte or whatever. Columbus was not going to be his final spot.
Boston and Miami, two completely different worlds.
Oh,
absolutely,
for sure. But as far as going east, that's what he wanted, right? So Columbus wasn't going to be his landing spot. We weren't going to keep him. Farsi proved himself during the 3-game series against Atlanta. He earned the right to start against Orlando, Cincinnati, and in the MLS Cup final.
So I mean, let's get to another question that we both have.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know what are some of the biggest additions or departures, and do you consider Gressel a big departure? At least starting off with that, just so that way our fans can sort of understand that.
No, not really. I mean, are we going to miss his passing? Probably. I mean, he played a crucial part in setting up these goals that Christian Ramirez scored against Cincinnati. His passing. Yeah, we're going to miss his passing. But as far as him being a big loss, I don't think so. It's really not that big of a deal, especially with Columbus. Julian Gressel played well. He did his thing, but it's time to let him do his own thing. But we have a specific way that we're going to go with this club, and Gressel just doesn't fit. I say another big loss is I don't know if I was on your guys' show before or after this happened, but obviously Lucas Alvarado was what left in the middle of the season, which sucked.
Yes, I remember that. I think it was you that said that he was the best Argentinian in the league at that point.
Yes.
Was it me? No. I think that was the other guy. I think that was Gerald. I think that was the other guy.
It was Gerald. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, not really. We haven't had any big losses. I mean, Jimmy Madranda never really got any playing time except for scoring a goal against Toronto. Josh Williams, he's worn every single badge that Columbus has had in history. He's retired. Or going to be retiring. I don't know if it's official or not, but he's going to be retiring. No big losses at all. I think the biggest get is Marina Hinestrosa, who can play a wing position, more so on the left. So we have a couple of players in competition for that spot. Derek Jones, a center mid, center back, kind of hybrid player, can add a depth piece when Steven Moreira's still out because he's with Cape Verde. Doubt he's going to get back in time for the first game of the season. But I think just those two players are the biggest gets. Of course, we also have our draft picks. I don't know if they're going to forgo their last year or two of college and join the club, but I don't see them getting first team minutes. But other than that, it's just those two, pretty much.
And you guys have the best striker in the league.
Of course we do. Cucho Hernandez.
That's right. That's my boy.
What's up? Danny's a big Cucho guy.
I fucking love Cucho.
And I mean, I guess as we're talking about Cucho, and that brings up the next point, right? It's one of your biggest strengths. Do you consider your biggest strength Cucho in the top strikers?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, like, what are the biggest strengths that you consider for the team?
The biggest strengths of the team. I think it meant the biggest strength in Cucho. I was going to say, well, it's goal scoring, obviously. No, so I think Cucho is probably one of the biggest strengths of the team.
He is the team. What are you talking about?
Well, no, because we also have Christian Ramirez, who scored goals. We have Diego Rossi, and I think the biggest one, we want to get Rossi back to LAFC Rossi, where he's constantly putting the ball in the back of the net. But I think Cucho is the strength of the team. He is our number 9, but teams are going to have to try and keep him contained, right? But the way that Nancy plays with the 3 front, like the 2 in the back and Cucho, they all intertwine with one another. So Rossi's going to be up at the 9 and Cucho's going to be back, or Ramirez or Matan and, Cucho, and they all intertwine. So they're going to have to be on their heels, the defense, to figure out where he's going to be at all times on the pitch.
And that was one of the things that I noticed whenever you guys were playing. It's like, I felt like if I'm a Columbus Crew fan watching the game, I feel like I can come back from any sort of deficit because of the simple fact of how awesome, like how smooth it is that you guys attack, even if you're behind.
Yeah. And I think Cincinnati is the prime example, right? To go down, and I hate to keep talking about this game, but this game is so unique in so many ways. You go down 2-0 away on the road. I'm in the press box. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we're done. Okay, I can lose to Cincy in the playoffs because they were the best team. Can't take that away from them. But when they come out, it's a whole different ballgame, right? To get 2 goals in the second half and essentially flip the game on its head. And the way that the team is training throughout the week, and I actually had the chance to talk to the head trainer of the crew before MLS Cup. The way that they train throughout the week really helps how they perform throughout the game, right? So they don't tire. They go 100% at the beginning of the week, and I can't remember what the training is called, but they do this type of training to get them match ready. So it's essentially match fitness or match preparation throughout the entire week. Absolutely. So they're up to that tempo. They know what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. Flipping the game on the head to make it 2-2, heading into extra time. Cincinnati is dying, right? Barreal, Acosta, they're cramping up. They're slow to get off the pitch, and our guys are running off the pitch, getting water. They're fresh, right?
Makes a big difference.
It does make a big difference. And I think that is, to go back to your question, Chris, that's also one of the biggest strengths that Columbus has is their fitness. They tire teams out, and they just take the bull by the horn and just go with it, right?
And that makes sense. No, Danny, I mean, and on top of that, like, I'm getting tired of hearing all the good stuff, Danny. I'm getting real tired of that. All right. I want to know when
we beat you, why are we beating you? What's your weakness?
You guys said it earlier, it's the defense. It's the defense.
It's not Cucho.
You were ranked 14th and you still won the cup. That gives us hope for us for this year.
That does. I think the biggest part of it was trying to get Malde Amundsen and Steven Moreira to think and play like a center back, right? When Steven came with us, he was a fullback. He was a right back. Amundsen was a left wing back, whatever. So having them kind of pivot to a role that they're not used to was really difficult, right? They adjusted. Then we bring in Rudy Camacho from Montreal, who's played under Wilfried Nancy before. And now we have a Wilfried Nancy on the pitch, right? Helping the midfielders, the three back, tell them how they're supposed to play because he knows how Nancy wants the team to play. Thankfully, everybody adjusted and we got a third star. But now it's just, can we keep that going, right? Can our defense keep it up and essentially not let Messi get a goal? I don't think it happens, but I'm just saying.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't get wish DJ Khaled. That's so funny.
That is hilarious.
So, obviously, champs, right? So there's only one way to go once you're on the top, right? You either repeat or you drop.
Yep.
Are your expectations to repeat? Is it to get a couple other trophies? And what's your prediction for Columbus overall this season?
I think the expectation is repeat, obviously, because we do have a lot of the core that won the 2023 MLS Cup. But I also think an expectation is now, how many trophies can we get? We have the opportunity to get 4 or 5 possibly, I think. Pending the outcome of the Open Cup shit, whatever the fuck happening with that. But I think I've talked to it with Gerald. Columbus is on track to play at least 2-3 games a week, right? Just because of how compact the schedule is with Leagues
Same here.
Cup.
Every Wednesday and Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leagues Cup, League. I think Campeones Cup, Open Cup, and then whatever. So now an expectation is, can we have all our guys fit? Can we expect a heavy rotation and these guys just absolutely take it to our opposition? The treble would be nice, because I think it's only been done once, and that was with Toronto.
Yes.
But I fully expect us to at least make the playoffs, and I want us to win the cup. I expect us to make playoffs. I expect us to win the cup.
I was about to say, the playoffs is bare minimum if you're a good team.
Well, but here's the thing, though, right? And I was talking to Gerald about this a couple of days ago. The playoffs is the expectation. Everybody expecting to make the playoffs at least, once or whatever, right? But how can we, especially with the new format, right, with this 3 games and single elimination, how can we as repeat champions go about that route again? We don't want to play 3 games. We don't want to do 120 again, because it's just tired. It's just long and tiring. What can we do that works, that will get us to point A, playoffs, and point B, MLS Cup? And that all comes down to the coaching staff, the technical staff, the trainers, and whatnot, and players, essentially.
So a failure of a season isn't necessarily not winning the MLS Cup. It would be not making the playoffs in your mind.
You said
if you make the playoffs, you're okay with the season.
If we make making the playoffs is definitely high on the list. MLS Cup is higher, but at the same time, I think in my head, I'm thinking again the schedule, and the same thing with you guys again, right? Because of how busy we're going to be, right? I can't just rely on Cucho to play 90 minutes.
You're the defending champs. You can't be saying that you just hope to make the playoffs.
But here's the thing.
No way.
Listen. We make the playoffs, right? We can't expect Cucho. We can't expect Rossi, Schulte to play 90 minutes every game throughout the regular season. And
that's fine, but the supporter shield is out of the question.
The supporter shield doesn't matter. The supporter shield is.
I agree. It's stupid. Nobody cares about that thing. Nobody cares about that.
No, because it doesn't really.
But making the playoffs, 9 teams make that shit.
Well, 8. The
play-in game.
The play-in game, I don't really count.
Hey, look, 9. If you don't make the playoffs, I'm sorry, Nancy failed.
No, well, Yes.
It's got to be like Eastern Conference Finals. It's got to be like
something like that, or trophy. But playoffs, Ty, come on, got to come harder than that when you're the defending champs. Can't wear that hat and say that you just want to make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, hey, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to explain how I think, just because of how much because of how battered everything is going to be, that I think, okay, let's take it one step at a time, right? Playoffs, okay, cool. Now we put our big boy pants on and go for the MLS Cup, right? Instead of just going straight for it, which let's
get to the dance.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
absolutely.
man, I need Cucho on my team. I wouldn't disrespect him the way Ty just did.
Yeah.
That's Cujo is an absolute gem.
Nah,
he's such an amazing
eventually guy. He'll play Miami eventually.
I doubt that, but I mean, hey, crazier things have happened.
Listen, Danny, so is there anything else to cover here before I get to my questions, or what?
No, poor Ty doesn't even know what's coming. Go ahead.
Oh my.
So I think I don't know if you've did I go over the sandwich question with you here, Ty? How are you cutting the sandwiches? Is it diagonal or is it north to south?
I think you went over something. I think you went over steak with me the last time.
Yes, steak and toast. But now we need sandwiches here. We're evolving.
Okay. All right. So, is it how the sandwich looks, or is it any type of sandwich?
No, it's just like this sandwich. This
Just
sandwich
like
with your toast.
Okay, then I'm going diagonal.
Oh man, that's already a terrible decision.
Well,
Danny, you're muted.
You're gonna hate me even more because I also drink milk after I eat cereal.
What?
What? You drink the milk after you eat your cereal?
I do though. But Danny is the only weirdo that doesn't.
That's impossible.
So
how is this a thing?
What do you mean? That is absolutely a thing.
That is a thing. It's
not.
Yes, it is.
You just put more cereal with the milk that's left over.
But what about when you run out of cereal and you still have milk in the bowl?
The milk.
No, you don't. No, what are you doing there?
No.
Oh, you guys are sick.
Such a huge sacrifice that you're making there.
No.
And listen, I've been going grocery shopping lately, Ty, and I pulled my shopping cart from the front, as you can see in this picture.
I saw that. You're a psycho.
Okay. Oh my God! So you're one of these guys that push it from the back.
A normal human being?
Yeah, because I'm
not
normal.
Like a normal human being, like a weirdo. So I just want to show you guys, and for those of you that are in the chat, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and do all that good stuff. Come on, guys! It's literally a scroll up with the thumb and boom. Okay, boom, bam, Uncle Sam. I have a video that one of our good friends in the Inter Miami stratosphere, Matthew Hanau, I went ahead and I put his username in the video. He sent me a video showing me some of his experience with shopping with the shopping cart. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add this over to the stage, and let's just check this out. Hold on.
Pulling the cart. It's actually not too bad once you learn how to like get rid of like the obstacles, like, you know, you go around there.
Boom, look at that.
It's actually not too bad. Pulling the cart isn't as bad as it seems. So here's a demonstration of the pros of pulling the cart. So as you can see, there's an intersection.
Look at that.
And if you push it and someone's
Broken
coming
down
by
to
over there,
sides.
you know you're gonna hit them. But if you're on this side and pulling the cart, you can always get your blind spots by pulling the.
I mean, look at that. I mean, he broke it down to a science.
Well,
broke it
for
down
the
to a
record,
science.
For the record, when that video started, Money Matt, you were literally walking side by side with the cart. I don't even know what the hell that means. Like that, he's not a pusher or a puller.
He's walking.
He's a cart dater. Like he's just holding hands with the cart. Like I don't know what the hell's going on there.
I've done that. Sometimes you got to take up the whole aisle because you got to own it. Own the aisle.
Why are you taking up the aisle though? Why are you taking up the aisle?
Because it's my aisle.
That's your way of asserting dominance is taking
I
the
am
entire aisle.
completely absurd. Listen, I want to go over a quick story about aisle etiquette. I want everyone to know this between Danny and I. When COVID started in our local grocery store, they put arrows up to go that way and back to go this way. You couldn't go against the arrows. I am a big rule follower in that sense, and I would follow the arrows. Okay, yeah, in a lot of senses, but especially in that sense, I'm not going to go against the arrow. That's illegal. And for those of you that were shopping during COVID, were you guys going against the arrow in the aisles?
Stancy says that they were. Look, I
when
never
there's nobody there. Yes.
Arrows. Well, no. I respect the arrow. No, I respected the arrow, but
you didn't.
If I saw that my item was at the very beginning of that aisle,
you have to sacrifice.
I had to go against the arrow for that foot or two that I had to go to get it. I'm not gonna walk around completely just to go back to where I'm at the moment. Like, that's stupid.
No.
See, now here's the thing, right? If you are pushing the cart, right, from the handle, you would think that if you're coming to an intersection and somebody's coming this way, you would think that they have common sense that when they see a cart push out, that they would maneuver around, right?
And not just that. If they're pushing their cart, it's just cart on cart. Chris is sacrificing his life because I'm ramming his ass because I'm seeing him pulling his cart and I'm running right over him for being an idiot.
I am asserting my dominance and avoiding a cart-on-cart collision in the middle of the grocery store. Dominance asserted. And
you
Mike
don't
V,
get hurt though.
No, but I go out there. No, I go out there and I show them this is my space, lady. Take you and all of your crappy groceries out of my way because this is my space. Stop. And look at Mike V saying, I go to the express lane with 12 items. Get out of here. Never. I would never do such a, that's a crime.
You must be one of those guys that thinks water is wet.
I mean, you know, water.
All right, Ty, before we wrap this up real quick, what's your go-to cereal?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Right now, boom, first one, go.
Lately, it's been Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Acceptable.
He knows his stuff.
You don't do none of that childish Cocoa Pebbles shit.
What's wrong with Cocoa Pebbles?
I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was Fruity Pebbles.
There is Fruity Pebbles, but there's also Cocoa Pebbles.
Nobody eats If you want chocolate, you just go Cocoa Puffs, man. All right, I'm not gonna get into this again. It's Cocoa Puffs, man.
Cocoa Puffs is good.
Yeah.
Reese's Puffs.
All right, Ty. As always, we appreciate you coming on to join us and kick it. We appreciate you talking some Cucho and defending champs with us, and let everybody know where they could find you if they want to hear about the defending champs.
Yeah, so you guys can listen to our podcast at Wisemen Pod on Twitter or anywhere you get podcasts, and follow me on Twitter at FisherTyler __.
And let me tell you, I don't pay in checks, Dennis. I used to have a checkbook, not anymore. And I do pull out exact change at the register. I keep coins. I still have 50-cent coins, dollar coins. I have a $2 bill in my wallet.
You are a psychopath, aren't you?
What?
He's a unique individual, and sometimes he has such unique takes on this show. And I think some people might watch this and be like, "He's just putting on an act just to be fun." No, this guy is really that. Let me.
This is me.
He's that unique. I'll say it that way.
Me.
He's that unique. He's that unique.
And what serial killer pours their milk before the cereal?
Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started.
All right. Chris, go ahead. Any final thoughts, sir?
My final thoughts is you guys are both psychopaths for pushing the shopping cart, and I can't wait for tomorrow's game. We're gonna dominate Anderson Talisca.
Ty.
That's the one.
Yeah. Ty, what do you think about this world tour that Messi's on? Do you think it's a big deal?
I think it's overrated, I'd say. You guys are traveling the team's traveling 24,000 miles before game one, and one of your players takes 3 days to get ready for a game because of his knee?
Yeah. I don't like the minutes that they're playing. It doesn't bother me, but I do dislike the amount of minutes that they've been playing. Because we ran over we usually try to stop it early. I'm not gonna get into it now. I'm gonna get into it tomorrow. But so I had, when you get on Facebook and the memories pops up.
Yeah.
I had a memory pop up from 8 years ago. And it
Sheesh.
was a preseason game of NYCFC. I used to be an NYCFC supporter before Inter Miami came into existence. And I went to see a preseason game. And and the pictures popped up, and I'm gonna show you guys those pictures tomorrow, so you can see how far the MLS has come, and why you should be happy that it's where we're at right now. Like what we saw on Apple TV in Saudi Arabia, like compare that to what I'm gonna show you tomorrow, and you're gonna be happy that we're where we're at as a league, as a team, and as a league.
Oh man, I cannot. I'm tuning in for that.
Yeah. All right. So if you are listening on audio, we appreciate you sticking with us all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe. Oh no, I'm sorry. Audio, the 5 stars, comment, review, all that other good stuff. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, and if you joined us in the chat, we appreciate you kicking it with us all the way to the end, an hour and 10 minutes. Please like, subscribe, share, all that other good stuff. A lot of people saying that my energy was down. I don't know, maybe. It felt off today, but
it's a Wednesday.
I'll be back. I'll be back and ready tomorrow to go. So join us tomorrow. We'll do the post game of the Al-Nassr game where Ronaldo's scared to play. And until the next one, have a good one.